Hey there YouTube, this is Evil Joey coming to you with a video. I did the top 5 cards that should come off the ban list. And so now I'm going to do the top 5 cards that should not come off the ban list. But it would be fun if they did. So these are cards that have either way too powerful effects or just effects that just are not good for the game. And thus they should not come off. But you know what? If they did, I'd have a blast playing with these cards. So anyway, here we are. Number 5 is Fiber Jar. This is the card that I think is possibly the only card to ever get banned purely because it was annoying. Now some may argue self-destruct button, but I think that was more of getting banned due to affecting tournaments and causing ties, or when it got into you win or go home rounds, self-destruct button could make a game go on forever. And that actually has happened to me before, where I got into a game with somebody using a final countdown self-destruct button, and I ended up losing in game 6. All games 1 through 5 were all ties. But this card is a card that just resets the game, which means all the advantage that that opponent had, gone. It's just gone. So you just set this and it's just gone. It also kind of forces things to go into time more often, because resetting a game, both players are going to have to get reset up and redo everything. So it does force things to go into time more often, and just wipes out any advantage the person that's winning has, and that's probably why I got banned. But again, it'd be pretty cool if it did. Just the amount of anger that would come across the opponent's face when they attack, and they attack right into Fiber Jar, and they're like, I was winning, because obviously you won't set it if you weren't, if you were winning. If you were winning, you won't want to reset it. But like, they're winning, and this just gets flipped, and just the anger, the sheer anger, would just be hilarious. Be the funniest thing ever. Number 4. Dimension Fusion. Now we recently, this card was banned. It got originally hit with Air Blade Turbo and eventually banned due to Diamond Dude Turbo, which was just kind of an offset of Air Blade Turbo. This card is a buffed version of Return from the Different Dimension. Pay 2,000 life points. Both players special summon as many banished monsters from the banished pile, from their banished zones, as they can, and that's about it. Now normally you play this when your opponent doesn't have any banished cards, so you're just pay 2,000, special summon all your banished cards back, which is incredibly powerful. But just having to, with banishing being always becoming a bigger and bigger thing, long gone are the days where if something got banished, it was gone. And that basically ended with this card, and has basically continued since then. Like, things that are banished do not stay banished for very long anymore, and this was one of the cards that started that. And just the fun that can be had with this, it is incredible. Which is why it's number 4. I didn't put return on here because returns one-sided. You don't have to think about it. And it's half your life points, so you can always activate it. There's less thought and less fun with the return from the different dimension. This gets fun. Number 3, Mirage of Nightmare. I'm sorry if you can't see that again. Darkroom. Mirage of Nightmare. Just a very powerful draw card that also discards cards. And that's extremely powerful. You can just you can end phase him. You can even standby phase MST this thing to get it off the field before you have to discard. And so you just being able to just get through that deck and just, oh, I've got 1 card in my hand. Your turn. Now I have 5. Is just kind of fun. And if you can't get rid of it, then you discard it all the way and just like, which can also help decks too. So obviously cannot come back. This card cannot come back. Don't get me wrong about that at all. But kind of the fun that can be had with this, and just, oh, like MST it. Now I get to keep my +4, or I can't get rid of it. Now I set up my graveyard. It's absolutely just kind of hilarious and just fun. Number 2, Last Turn. This is a card that can't come back despite it not being that good of a card. It's just a card that messes up game states and just, oh crap, this is, yeah. Anyway, I like, oh, this is a different card. Like, no, this is the card I meant to choose. But yeah, you just summon out something like Jogging and go, game. So yeah, just a fun card. It's not really that incredibly powerful, but just kind of the things that kind of go with it make it so that you just win. And because of that, this thing can't come back, despite it not being very powerful on its own. But it's fun. You just go, that 200 attack monster I just summoned just won me the game. Yeah. And then for the final card that is banned, can never come back, but frankly, again, just be hilarious if it did. Ring of Destruction. Just forces both players to think. This is the card that kept Solemn Judgment from seeing play till 2008, when this thing finally got banned. Then Solemn Judgment finally went, yay, I can see play, because before, if you activated Solemn Judgment, and then later on your opponent activated Ring of Destruction, you just lost. So it kept Solemn Judgment from not seeing play for the longest time. And just both players, even the user, has to think about this card. They have to constantly thinking, oh, what's the life? Is this monster worth killing? Or do I need to hold on to it? If I hold on to it, is it going to become too late for me? Or is my life points going to drop too low? It makes life points a factor. And that's one thing that just isn't enough in this game, where life points just aren't a factor unless a cost of a card is so high, then it becomes a little bit of a factor. But most of the time, life points just aren't a factor. This card makes life points a factor. Now, they'll go, oh, life points are a factor because if you drop below 2,000, you can no longer use Soul Warning. Or if you drop below 800, Gaga Cowboy comes into play. But those are... The 800 is kind of... okay, I just can't drop below 800. The 2,000 is a little bit, but that just means, oh, I can't activate a card. This, if you drop below 2,000, you're dead. Because this thing's just gonna blow something up and kill you. So it makes people have to constantly be going, okay, where are my life points at? Where are his life points at? How many more life points am I willing to give up in fear of Ring of Destruction? And that in itself is a very, very fun thing, but it can never come back. Anyway, if you have any more ideas for top 5 lists I can do with forbidden cards, I'd love to hear them. I actually enjoy kind of knowing the history of the game. That's one thing that I actually do enjoy trying to know. And the forbidden list is a very, very big part of the history of the game, obviously. But it kind of tells a story. They kind of tell stories of how the game has gone just through the power creep and the forbiddenness of, oh, this card was banned back in 2004, and this card was banned here in 2014. Oh my god, look at the difference. So I enjoy the forbiddenness enough where I really like to get into it. So if you have any more ideas for top 5 lists concerning the forbiddenness, I'd love to hear them. Again, I can do this all day because I have every single card on the forbiddenness, and I always will. If a card gets forbidden, I make it an absolute priority to get that card. So yeah, just tell me what kind of top 5 lists you'd like to see in the future. And till then, TeamEDM, and we're out.